my name is Nicole. I'm 43. Originally from Maryland. I've been out here like 2.5 years or so in Philadelphia. Down around Kensington, like it's been like 3 years in Philly, probably 2 years in Kensington, actually. I was actually like a bad alcoholic for a long time, and I came and got help here, and then I ended up using trying some heroin out here, which actually wasn't heroin. It was fentanyl, and now they changed it to like xylazine, trank, I guess what they call it, which is, you know, really bad. It's you know, eating up people's body parts and different things like that. Yeah, like doing that, some powder and things like that. But it's gotten really bad out here. You know what I mean? It a lot of people are, you know, getting their limbs cut off and different things like that. Smells are atrocious from it. Unfortunately, people not taking care of it and stuff. You know, it's just not a good thing out here. You know. But I don't know what else.
You want me to ask you questions?
Sure. Yeah.
What is it like living in Kensington from your perspective?
It's bad. Like, I've gotten robbed quite a few times. I've gotten jumped a couple times. The one time it was like 18 girls. Was in the hospital, like trauma unit for 3 days, just over a couple dollars. You know, it's dangerous out here. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people unfortunately are out for themselves. You know, the drugs got people crazy. You know what I mean? Even like trying to get by in a day is just, you know, if you're not trying to steal something or do something like that, then it's like trying to make a couple dollars here and there is just hard, and then you got to watch out for the next person trying to rob you. You know what I mean? And then being hooked on drugs, you know what I mean? You can't keep a dollar in your pocket. So it's rough out here. You know?
How do you stay safe out here? What are some strategies you can teach us about staying safe out here?
Actually, like, really watching out, like, where you are. Trying to avoid going the same way all the time. Watching who you're with. You got to really watch people, you know what I mean? Because people say that they're your friends and they care, and most of them don't, you know. And just a lot of the time, a lot of people will wait for you to do something. Like, even like if people steal or something, they'll wait for you to do it, and then they come and rob you. You know what I mean? So just kind of watching out just where you are. Like who's around, how long they've been around, how they're watching you. You know what I mean? Just being aware. Like, I don't get too messed up on stuff because then I can't watch out. You know what I mean? I try not to do too much of this stuff because, for one, you're just going to be asleep when you wake up, you're robbed, and you know, everything else. But two, just I don't like doing too much of it anyway, because you do like this trank stuff, you do it, you go to sleep, you wake up and you got to run back to them because they're putting all the, you know, so much stuff in it that just passes you out. You know, so every like 2 hours you got to run back to them. So I try to just do like a quarter of it. I'm trying to get off of it, really, but trying to just do a little bit less and less each time, so where I'm not sick, but I'm not doing too much where my habit gets worse either. You know?
Gotcha. So I'm sorry I didn't hear this particular part. I don't know if you answered it or not, so I'm going to repeat it. How did your addiction start?
Really, it was out of curiosity. Like, I've always been kind of on the side of, you know, like drugs. When I was younger, I took some pills and whatnot, you know what I mean? I was addicted to like Ativan, Percocet, things like that when I was younger. So I've always been like curious as to like, oh, what does cocaine do? What's heroin like, you know, because you see it, and of course it's like, oh, you know, don't do it, but, you know, you always have that, well, what if I didn't do so much, or what if, you know, maybe it won't do that to me type of thing. Back when I was like 25, I had like a 6-month run with like cocaine, But where, like, I was around the Harrisburg area, it's too expensive. It's like you're paying $100 every time you want to go out there and cop. So around here, it's a lot cheaper. So it was like a 6-month run there. I was away from it for a long time. But then when I came out here, I was drinking a lot. Like I said, I went to rehab and stuff, and got sober from that. But then ran into some people that, you know, did some heroin and cocaine and stuff, and I just decided to try it. And it's a lot cheaper out here, so it's easier to maintain your habit out here. So.
And that's why a lot of people get stuck down here because of that, right?
Right.
So, what are some challenges you face trying to overcome your addiction?
Basically, like, trying to get out of it. Once you're in it, it's really hard. Like I said, just to keep a couple dollars in your pocket is hard. Like right now, for instance, I don't have contacts in, so I can't see anything. I don't have any ID, so to go get a job, I can't see anything, and I have no ID. You know what I mean? There are places that help you get the ID and stuff. Now the contacts is a little bit harder, but it's like, okay, and it sounds dumb because it's only $50 to go over to get my contacts for my copay. But then coming up with $50 while you're trying to stay well, you know, it just doesn't work out in a day. You know, I guess prioritizing is a problem. Honestly, you know what I mean? Because once you start saying it, it doesn't make any sense. But when you're in it, you know, you're like, why can't I come up with $50?
Yeah, I hear you.
I've been in a lot of rehabs and stuff. Mainly before it was for drinking. And drinking, I've stopped drinking, but I picked up kind of some people's eyes a worse habit. But right now, I guess it's just trying to get back into treatment and just stay there. Because I've been in treatment a couple of times, but I left most recently. I had an abscess actually on my spine, and I had to have surgery back in December. So. This stuff like just comes out on your body anywhere, and it actually came out of my spine. So I had to like it was probably like 3 inches long or so. So I had to go in, and I was supposed to actually be in there for 3 months, but I kept going in and out of the hospital, even with because I had to be IV antibiotics, and even with that, my addiction still, you know, called me out. So I would go out, come back into the hospital, go out, come back in. I got it taken care of though, but it even goes that far, you know what I mean? I have my boyfriend, you know, he's really supportive as far as, we're both out here, but just supporting each other, trying to, you know, help each other like get better and not worse with it. Outside of that, like, honestly, I don't really have any family. A lot of my family passed away. There are people like that I met along the way. I was in recovery for about 9 months in a recovery house and things like that. And actually, that's where we met. So we met in recovery. There's some people there that still, you know, want to see me do well that I can go to for help and support there. Yeah, I mean, I actually have 2 degrees and things. Got myself in a little bit of trouble there, but I'd like to get back into either, you know, my career field or just a job in general, just to get back on my feet. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of different things, and you know, I know there's something out there for me that's a lot better than this. You know?
How can people support you?
A lot of the time, like, just people just showing like that they care, you know what I mean, as opposed to just downing people that have addiction and that are homeless and things like that. Oh, you guys could do better, you know better, or like just being mean. Just showing support, just like, hey, you guys can do it, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about like money or anything like that necessarily, just like, just even like a hello, how are you, like hope your day gets better type of thing, you know what I mean? Just people being nicer to one another. Just the government, I mean, you know, there's support out there, just trying to help people get into programs. There's a really good outreach program that comes out here, and they're trying to help us get into either a recovery center, you know, or a shelter. So we work with them right now. That's a really good support too. I didn't even think about that. They're actually part of the city too. But just, you know, people doing things like that, just coming out and, you know, that they care, not that we're just to be thrown away.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
What do you want the world to know about you?
That I'm not just an addict. I'm not just, you know what I mean, like another person that's just out here not doing anything. Like, I'm somebody. I've had a career. I've had a house, cars, you know, money before. Like, I fell into an addiction that I'm trying to get out of. You know what I mean? And just that, you know, I'm a person too out here struggling like everybody else, and I'm just trying to do something better. You know what I mean?
What advice do you have for anyone that's younger than you about drug addiction?
Don't be curious about it. There's nothing that you can see it. You know what I mean? What you see is what you get. What you see everybody out here struggling, that's what it is. It's not going to be any different for you. You know what I mean? Like, don't put yourself through it. There's no point, you know?
Do you have a spiritual or religious belief?
I'm spiritual more than religious. I believe in God. I believe that, you know, I'm here for a reason, and this is probably not it to be doing all this, but yeah, I believe that God has a plan for me, you know what I mean, and that I'll get out of this. So
where do you believe you'll go when you die?
I believe heaven.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Okay, this one to take us home. There are a lot of people in this world who judge people who struggle with drug addiction. What's your message for the world?
Don't judge each other. Everybody goes through something, you know what I mean? I think it's better to just try to help one another out. Like, be a nice word in somebody's ear, or, you know, helping hand, versus just being another person that says, you know, like, kicks you to the curb or something like that. Just being nice to each other, you know, goes a long way.
Right. So Nicole, thank you so much for being courageous and sharing your story with us. We hope somebody can, you know, it can resonate with someone and they won't come down this road. You are courageous and you are making a difference for the future generation. Is there anything you're in need of that we can help you with?
No, right now I just, you know, need to get the contacts and the ID and stuff, you know?
Okay, so you know where to go.
You're doing it though, thank you.
You know where to go to get those things, right?
Yeah.
Prevention point? All right. So guys, we clocking out with our girl Nicole. We're gonna stay connected. Remember, don't be bitter, be better.
Right.
Until next time, we out there. Peace out.